Tonight on Friday Night Live, my guest, comedian promoter Dave Short. He's been into comedy for a while. He was already doing it when I was doing it, when I started. Lots of good stuff to talk about tonight. Comedy, food, what he likes to nerd out on. Of course, if you saw me send out a message on Twitter, we're going to have to ask him how he got the name Dave the Albino. I don't know. Maybe he has an answer to it. That interview will begin in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to have with us this evening Dave the Albino himself, Dave Short, comedian and promoter. Dave, it's good seeing you.
How are you, John?
I'm good. It's a pretty night outside.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
First things first. Oh, wait. Let's see. Unknown Crazy K. Long time no see. Did you change your name? Because I don't know who Unknown Crazy K is. Oh,
what do we know?
Fine. All right, so it's me, Dave, Oliver. Of course, maybe by Series 2, we will have Oliver conducting the interviews because he loves being on camera. First and foremost,
yeah,
Dave the Albino?
Dave the Albino.
How does a dark-skinned fellow like yourself get a name like that?
Well, it was a weird thing. It was back when Twitter was just kind of brand new. It was like well, let's see. Just yesterday was my 9-year anniversary on Twitter. So I've been on Twitter a really long time. And I got it just to kind of follow the comedians that I liked, you know.
I don't even have memories on Facebook 9 years old. I don't.
Yeah, no. I got a Twitter just to follow the people that I like to follow. Celebrities, really. Back then, getting in contact with celebrities was really easy on Twitter, so that's kind of the reason I was on there. And I actually had somebody who was following me a lot. I had a different name back then. It was Nitro Dave.
Okay. Dave the Albino. Yeah. I was just kidding. Yeah, no. I can kind of figure it out. Nitro Dave?
Nitro Dave is what my original
pro wrestling name?
Yeah, no. Nitro was a foundation I was working to start with some high schoolers. We were trying to help high schoolers who were at risk of dropping out of school and stuff. So I was doing some stuff with that, and so Nitro was associated with my name a lot. But somebody just suggested, you are really, really white, and you should come up with a really, really white name for your Twitter. And I just blurted out, oh yeah, my Twitter name is going to be Dave the Albino. And then like everybody at the time just completely unloaded on it and said yes.
I look at that as a bonus though. Because most of us, if you're olive complected like me and you're in the shower and you step out and you look in the mirror, you have a really white butt. But I assume it's like head to toe, it's like one shade, you're no blending.
No. Well, it was No Shave November. And so I did have the facial hair kind of going, not very well. I mean, mind you,
early. It's not.
I did
not
shave.
Over till
I
tomorrow.
did shave. Yeah, I did shave. I shaved yesterday because I was just. It was itching so bad. I'm not used to having long facial hair at all, and I was literally just clawing my face, and so I just went for it.
It's kind of a bad time that we live in where people are outraged or offended by almost anything.
Sure.
So do you get like pink-eyed people that come onto your Twitter and be like, "You're not a real albino. That's insensitive. I'm an albino."
No,
I can't even stand out with the fridge door open without getting cancer. You know, I mean, anything like that?
No, I don't. But I've had like one or two people at shows come up to me afterwards and
you're not white enough,
and then just well, you know, they would say, you know, I think it's really insensitive. We don't really get why you call yourself Dave the Albino, and really. I don't really call myself Dave the Albino much anymore. It's my Twitter handle. It's my website, davethealbino.com.
Oh, well.
So I kind of got stuck with it. I mean, I did embrace it, so it's not like I got stuck with it. But, you know, just the one I'm going for now, the one that I've embraced now is the Pale Ranger. Somebody used that as an insult against me, but I just liked it so much. It was such a good burn that I was just like, okay, I'm the Pale Ranger now. So
you've done quite a bit with the versus the world kind of shows.
Sure.
Roast battle. Do you see that as a? We've asked this on other episodes. Do you see that as its own genre, or do you see that as stand-ups who also roast, or are there people that don't go to open mics that will go to roast? Is it its own field?
I think it's his own field. I think that comedy...
Because I got to be honest, the late Jason Redfern, never saw him on a mic, but every roast battle, he was there.
He was there. Yeah, Jay Bird was at every roast.
Yeah.
He was at everything. And I remember the very first roast we did, he was just a guy in the audience. And he was like...
Heckling better than the comedians?
Well, he just wouldn't stop like blurting out things at the people on stage, so we were just like, you know what, just get up here and bring it on, you know. And I think this was a DeMario versus the world, like way back, one of the very first ones we did in Tulsa, the whole thing. But
do you confidently think that you're a roast comic? Do you like,
as far as roasting's concerned,
even after 3 years, I still have that thing where people go, "Are you a comedian?" And I'm like, I've been paid to do comedy, but I don't feel like I have enough confidence to go, "Yeah, I'm a comedian."
Well, you know,
are you a roast comic?
It took me a really long time to even embrace the title comic or comedian.
How long you been in?
Well, I got my first official start was at Joe Mama's Pizza in downtown Tulsa 9 years ago in July. Well, it was funny. I was on Twitter, like I said, for a few months, and people were like, you know, you should really try out comedy and get on stage. You're pretty good on Twitter. And I was like, okay, that shouldn't be too hard, like all new idiots are. Like everybody that I know, that story's probably been told 8,000 times. So I went and I blew chunks. I was the worst. I was only there for 3 minutes.
Has anybody ever got it right the first time?
I've heard some people their very first time, and I was just like, that was your absolute first time ever?
I saw TJ at his graduation show from Bedgood's class at the Parlor.
TJ's one of those guys.
It was literally 10 minutes I could not catch my breath. It was so good. He's such a storyteller.
Storytellers have an innate ability to be good comedians because
they know how to keep the audience.
They know
how to keep attention. Focus on them.
The material resonates because it's real material most of the time. It's hardly ever even exaggerated with TJ. I mean, sometimes you're thinking like, did you really did you really create a chocolate mold of your, you know what I mean? But, I mean, that's the funniest part about it is that you could absolutely put yourself, like, watching an American Pie type movie, and you got TJ, and then they cut to a chocolate mold. I could totally see that
A couple of early questions. Mr. Short, who are you going for in the OU Texas game tomorrow? Thank you so much.
It's here.
Okay.
QB1.
And, Mr. Short, what is your favorite little kid joke? Thank you so much.
Favorite little kid joke.
I don't think they mean that little kid was the subject of the joke, but jokes that you could tell little kids or that little kids tell.
My favorite joke is
let's be clear.
Okay. Well, I never really even answered the question about the roast comic thing. The roast comic thing. I view roasting somebody as a very strong term of endearment. Like
Intimate?
No, just that, if I roast you, it means that I view you as a friend. I view you as somebody that...
You couldn't roast a complete stranger or someone that you don't care.
I could roast a complete stranger, but I wouldn't be able to do it with the, with the precision that I can somebody that I know, obviously.
Okay.
But I do not like, and I have tried, but I suck at it, to... roast people that I don't like, It's just not something that I'm very good at. So
okay, Raptor, I know you're only 14, but yes, TJ Clark does do a bit about making a chocolate mold of his Jimmy.
Of his business.
Of his business.
So...
And then, because he's a fat guy and he loves chocolate, he ends up eating it. But,
yeah, no.
That's TJ.
That's TJ.
Maybe we'll have him on in series 2.
The joke for the kid thing, my daughter used to tell this joke, and it's just... it's just a kid joke, but she would come up to me. She was like maybe 4 or 5 at the time, and she would say, "Do you know who keeps stealing my soap?" And I remember the first time she did it, I didn't realize she was telling a joke, and I'm just like, "What are you talking about? Nobody's stealing your soap." And she goes, "Do you know?" And then she would giggle. So then I realized, oh, it's a joke. "Do you know who keeps stealing my soap?" And I go, "No." And she goes, "The robber ducky." The robber ducky.
My favorite's the one about the... there's 2 hamsters in an oven.
Okay.
And the one hamster looks at the other one and goes, "Is it getting hot in here?" And the other hamster goes, "Holy shit, you can talk?" Love that one. Love it. Works all ages.
It works on everybody. That's like the Brian Regan joke where he's like, "Daddy, I have a joke for your career."
Do you have... who do you look up to?
Who do I look up to?
Yeah,
like in comedy?
Yeah, who are your influences? I'm pretty sure I've seen you perform. You don't really pattern yourself after anyone. You don't use like a template. But, I mean, who do you like? I mean, for a lot of guys that don't go completely dark in their humor, it's probably Gaffigan. Because he can kind of keep it adult, but still keep it clean.
I have a hard time... I remember the very first time I saw Jim Gaffigan.
His first set was pretty blue.
Beyond the Pale.
No, before that it was
bad. Before that it was, but Beyond the Pale was the first time I ever really discovered him. I had seen clips of like skinny Jim Gaffigan at the fair. Did you
watch that because it was called Beyond the Pale?
No, actually, it was just
my kind of comic.
It was just on Comedy Central one night, and it, you know how they do the specials every Saturday, and I remember putting my DVR in a workout that night. I had to keep pausing it so I could catch my breath and go to the next thing. The problem with it is
45 minutes talking about food.
Well, yeah, I mean it's great stuff, but you're with me looking the way I look and with my material being very similar to him. I don't want people to feel like I just like, Jim Gaffigan light that that sucks, that's not as good, or on Chrysler commercials, or has
it's not really Jim
Gaffigan.
Gaffigan. I mean, if you read the fine print, it's
his wife writes. His wife probably writes 99% of it. Yeah.
Hey Jim, why don't you say this?
Right. Yeah. No. But
he's got a great delivery.
I do like his delivery. I've been doing those weird voices around the house my whole life, but I will never do one on stage because of him.
Right.
So, and really, my favorite comedian of them all is Bill Burr. Just his ability. I like to watch him. He has this thing now where he just sets up a GoPro in his car and he drives around Boston, and it is hysterical.
Everybody likes Bill Burr.
Well, of course you do. I mean, he's one of those guys. Like I was listening to a podcast with him just the other day where he was talking about how somebody came to him and said, you're gonna have to take the long road around, but once you hit, it's gonna be huge.
Right.
And it's totally right. I mean, if you watch his material up to the last 5-10 years, you're kind of like, okay. But then the last 5 to 10 years, it's just been so perfectly where it needs to be with the timing of our culture and our society and everything. Just having a guy that's kind of like a crotchety almost 50-year-old kind of guy that's just kind of like, I'm going to tell you how it is.
He's finally growing into his old man syndrome.
Yeah, he's got the grumpy old man thing going on, like it's just really cool because he's very deliberate, but he's also, he does it in such a coy way where he's kind of like, let me say something really absurd and then back off of it and go, what do I know?
Do you remember Comics Come Home? The Cam Neely Foundation, Dennis Leary would host every year. Jeannie Garofalo was on there.
Dennis
Jon Stewart.
Leary.
But Bill Burr, I remember like 10 years ago for a Cam Neely show in Boston. Bill Burr, too young to be saying the things he was saying, is like, wait a minute, you can't be mad at the kids, you're 30. You know what I mean? But now
well, now it resonates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but he's had that attitude forever.
Well, yeah, he has, but like Dennis Leary's special where he talks about like his daughter, he talks about how his son put a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into his brand new VCR. That's how old this is. And he was like, he's like, I wanted to beat him to death, like I had Apocalypse Now queued up to go. I was ready to go. And I went in to get the VCR in and there was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in. He just does this whole thing where, it's kind of like Jim Gaffigan dark.
For Raptor and Dragon and some of you guys, a VCR is like a big cassette tape, and a cassette tape is like,
it's technology before they invented magic. Really.
We used to have this thing in our cars where we would slide in this little plastic rectangle into the dash, and it would play music, but you couldn't queue up to the beginning of the next song.
No.
And it was 8-track. You could go clunk.
It would run tape so fast that it would sound like music.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. I don't know. Ask your folks.
Yeah. Ask your dad how he used to watch his porn. Basically, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, there was this thing called VCR." No, because don't ask your dad.
No. Well, yeah, I dare you. I dare you to ask your dad that. No. Raptor's Greek. His dad and mom are real Greek. Like he's first generation American.
Oh, nice.
So cool. Probably magazines.
Probably magazines is how
probably went to the newsstand to get theirs.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm actually older than him.
Oh, okay.
You're
older than.
I'm older than some of my viewers' dad. When they call me dad, and I'm like, you're wrong. I'm your grandpa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and what's your mom? What was your mom's name?
Crazy.
I might remember.
That's great.
Rune Jr., you made it. Those Sunshine Girls. What?
Okay.
Holy shit, he's ancient. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Nerding out. Oh, Nerding out. You know what? Did we finish what I wanted to ask you about comedy? These are so scripted.
Been doing comedy for 8 years, and he's like, 3 questions, and then we're moving on. No.
Asked your influences.
Yeah. I mean, Bill Burr's the guy that I like, but really my influence, the person who got me into comedy, was, and I know this is kind of not the person to be talking about now, but Bill Cosby himself, when I was a kid, that special.
That was one of my first two.
It was one of the first things where I sat down and I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard at it, and it's just.
My first was on a. Oh God, this is gonna date me. Before HBO was called HBO, it was called Q.
What?
There was.
I didn't even know that.
Okay, if you guys know what you guys have cable, you have a remote. Our remote used to have a cord, and it had 13 channels and 3 selections. So you had 2 through 13. So it had 12 buttons across the front, but then you could click down and go 14 through 25, and then click down again and go 26 through 30, whatever.
Wow.
And channel 13 was called Q, and that moved to channel 14, and it became HBO. And the first thing I ever saw was Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip. But it was after the parents went to bed, sneaking in the other room.
Yeah.
And then, the first one I remember watching and not feeling guilty and having them in the room was Bill Cosby himself.
I used to sneak into the living room after everybody was asleep, and I'd turn on HBO and watch the old comic relief shows with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. Right, yeah. Robin Williams is another one of those guys where sometimes I'll get nervous and I'll just start channeling that energy that he had, and obviously not as good as him, but
Dub, your first porn was the first porn.
Wow.
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 What do you like to nerd out on?
God.
Comic books, video games? You got something?
I got a PS4. I know that everybody just was like, "Oh, not a PS4."
No, I mean, there's plenty of people that play on console.
I love the God
Marvel
of War
movies? Or...
Oh, yeah. I mean, so...
You're playing God of War.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Too much?
I can't get enough of God of War.
Isn't it your bedtime yet? Daddy's got to get on the PS4.
No kidding. Well, now my kid's old enough to actually play the game with me. I remember the very first time we had God of War, the puzzles that are in that game weren't what attracted me to it, but they're the ones that's what attracted me to God of War 2 and 3 was how difficult the game was, you know? What attracted me to it was like, this is the first ass-kicking game I've seen in a long time, where it was just about kicking ass, and that's the way it was promoted. So I mean, I was all about it. And then I remember going to the store, picking it up, and playing it nonstop till I finished it.
It came out on PS2, the first one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
long time ago. And then I got you're like, let me tell you about the days that we used to have to run through 3 rooms to play one game.
I played Atari.
Yeah, no. I mean, I played older games than that, of course, and then I got the Kratos God of War Special Edition PS3 that came with all of the games and like all of the little sub games that were really hard to just go to the game store and buy. And
so it's not just fighting. I've never played the God of War series. It's not just about making your way through a map and then fighting a boss. You actually have to do puzzles and riddles on the way.
There's puzzles, there's rooms, there's all of these. The very first God of War game was about finding your way to Pandora's box, and it was hidden. So you had to get through all of these different rooms that had different ways of getting in and out of them. There's boss play, there's all of that too, but it's kind of hard to solve a puzzle while you're getting your ass kicked by like a 9-foot orc, that kind of thing. So I enjoyed those games. I got the PSP back before the Vita, and it was
PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, and it was a God of War, and I actually almost got fired from a job one time because I was playing that instead of doing my job, and the boss was like,
"These are good
what
lessons.
The heck, fool?
These are good lessons. If you love gaming, play it at work. If you love your job, don't.
Do not play God of War at your job."
Yeah,
no. And the new God of War is fantastic. It took way longer than I ever wanted it to come out.
You like single player games, something that you can like really immerse yourself in.
Yeah.
And not really.
Well, I really suck at online gaming, man. I'm not very good at the Call of Duties and the World of Warcrafts and all of this stuff where you have to rely on somebody who's either cheating or is taking it way too serious.
I don't like single player games.
Sure.
But I also only play multiplayer games by myself. I don't like playing with anyone.
I'll admit
it's kind of a weird
that when I get angsty, I'll turn on some Call of Duty and play some zombies by myself and just.
I haven't played a Call of Duty title since World at War. I played
some
in beta, but
the new one that's 3. They gave it to all of the PlayStation Plus members, and so I've been killing zombies on that thing for a few restless nights. If I had a bad day with work or something, I'll come home and just shoot a bunch of zombies.
So. Oh yeah, Dub. A senior taught me how to use a sandwich bag as a condom. Effing amazing. Okay, Rapper, that's not a question. Thought you should know.
And don't do that because that's definitely not safe at all.
Do you have to use a rubber band? Because it's not really tight around. Never mind. Movies and stuff. Marvel, Star Wars universe.
Jesus,
I've seen you perform more than once in a Star Wars themed T-shirt. So.
I did like I've loved Star Wars, just because it was the first thing I remember as a kid that kept the whole family captive.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
when I was younger, there was the Indiana Jones stuff too, but Indiana Jones, it was just like me and like my sister who were really into it, and none of the other brothers and sisters were into it, or none of the adults were really into Indiana Jones as much. But Star Wars, when you put that on, it was like, oh, we're watching all three, and we're doing it all the way.
Got an opinion?
I mean, I don't really have this like huge, I'm sure there's other guys that can sit here and just like totally nerd out about the new Star Wars and stuff, but
I hate them.
I just don't know.
I hate the Disney schedule. Used to, there was an anticipation that would build up, but now it's like we're getting 1 or 2 Star Wars movies every year. And then 3 months later, it's on DVD.
I don't like the on-the-clock thing about it.
Hey, it's Christmas. Here's the Star Wars movie that we released this summer on DVD.
No. My whole life, I waited for episodes 1, 2, and 3 to come out. And
Special edition.
And then when they came out, you were just like, okay, Jar Jar Binks, that whole fiasco.
New
and
stuff is shit.
all of that stuff, But now, I love Star Wars. George Lucas seems to have built a lot of my childhood memories as far as like pop culture. But what I really liked that most people don't really, when I was a kid, that I like really, really liked, that like nobody ever talks about anymore, is Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah,
dude, I freaking loved Flash Gordon when I was a kid, and none of the other kids liked Flash Gordon.
Star Wars spoiled everybody on special effects, and Flash Gordon was more the 1950s, 1960s sci-fi special effects, which I like.
I know.
It. Logan's Run was even a little bit too clean for,
Well, I was raised by my grandparents, so they were always putting me in front of, shows that were always maybe 20 years older than I should have even known existed, so Flash Gordon was kind of one of those things where I was just like, you think this is cool, then so do I, and I really did love Flash Gordon. It was just,
you might need to change schools, Raptor. Okay. Laxative says, don't do that, just pull out and honor tits. Let's see. Condom is 99% proof. Sandwich bag only 62% proof. You might want to look into that.
I'm pretty sure the sandwich bag is like 0.
One person says the new stuff is crap.
Yeah,
One
it is
person
new crap.
says The Last Jedi is the best movie ever.
I shouldn't admit this, but I have not seen The Last Jedi because it got spoiled before I got to see it. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of saw that coming. It confirmed it, so bye. All right.
Let's see. Sam Jones talking about Flash.
Yeah.
Not the bullworms. Go Flash, go. Yes. Flash, go. So cheesy. I love it.
It is. But...
Do you have a movie that you're really embarrassed to admit that you like?
Yeah.
Well, it's just the internet watching, Dave.
It's just
Come on.
Everyone. No.
Let's hear it.
I'm really embarrassed to say this, really bad, but one of my favorite movies is called Serendipity, and it's a...
is that the Adam Sandler Taya Leone movie?
No. This is a John Cusack, Kate Beckinsale movie.
Oh, right, the book.
Yeah, where they write their names on different things, and then they're like, let's see if fate brings us back together. And I know that is the biggest, wimpiest thing that you could... I hate admitting it, but... I
stay away from any movie that in the bump that says one woman's journey. If it starts out in the promo by saying one woman's journey, get me out of here. I will put a gun in my mouth and shoot my face off. I just cannot do it.
Yeah, no.
It's like chick flick. Oh, it's got John Cusack in it. Still a chick flick.
Yeah, no. Well,
do you cry?
Oh, yeah.
I cry during Scrooged. When the little boy talks at the end, Scrooge. I can't hold it together.
Scrooge really makes you cry.
But I didn't see Serendipity.
I mean, Serendipity doesn't make me cry. It makes me scream at the TV. I get like, Kathy Lee Gifford, like, on wine, totally dramatic about it. I'm just like, she's right around the corner, man. Pull your head out of your ass and get in that elevator, and just totally start screaming at the TV the whole time.
You're the guy who was screaming. I remember you now. You were the guy screaming in Sleepless in Seattle, weren't you? You've Got Mail. You were losing your mind.
No. Yeah, You've Got Mail. That movie is another one.
The only reason I would scream in those movies is because Meg Ryan
Kate and Leopold.
Oh God.
Oh God, Kate and Leopold.
And the bad thing is, I've seen those movies because I have a wife.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I get into those movies, man. I get like emotionally charged up, and I'm just like, like Maid in Manhattan, where she's a maid for the rich Monster-in-Law. I watched Monster-in-Law in the movie theater. That's how bad I am.
I have a wife, so I had to go pay full price for Legally Blonde too.
Legally, ooh.
At the not even at the dollar theater, like
Legally Blonde too, man. My
time.
sister is really into the Legally Blonde thing. She's a Reese Witherspoon like diehard, so
okay.
Sweet
Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama.
I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
Sweet Home Alabama.
I don't know how it just fell out of my mouth like that.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go to your local Red Box. If you have a Red Box, if you don't, then I'm sure it's on Amazon.
I'm sure.
Speaking of Amazon,
yeah,
nice plug for the Amazon, the Twitch Prime earlier. I got Twitch Prime. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, who do you subscribe to every month?
Nobody yet. But that's just because I didn't know that I could do that.
Just checking.
I didn't know that I could do that. I just
checking.
used the Prime for the loot that they give me and my kid. We play Overwatch. That's another game we play.
That's some nerding right there.
That's some nerding Overwatch. And I tried to play Fortnite, and I got it on my iPad, and I got so freaking mad at Fortnite that I just had to uninstall it from my iPad, or I would have broke the damn thing.
The guy who I play Tarkov with mostly. When I do play with someone.
Oh,
on
man,
weekends,
that's a cool game, dude. I've been watching you stream that. That's really cool.
On weekends, when I'm not streaming, I'll hop on his stream and we play. His name's Dr. Cammers. He was the number one player in the UK for Fortnite during Season 4. And then he holds the record for most consecutive wins in Fortnite in the UK. He had like 20 wins in a row. He got out of it. Me and him in July started talking. He's like, I'm looking for a new game. Because he was streaming Fortnite. That was the basis of his viewers. He was streaming Fortnite every day. And he actually had the pressure on him to be good because he was ranked.
I get it. If that's your way of making livelihood or whatever. Yeah.
But that guy has the... I don't like watching other streamers play Fortnite. But I would watch his stream. And Mojo and Kiki, me and both, we would watch his stream. It's not about shooting. It's not about surviving. His skill was building. I mean, a blink of an eye and be like, click, 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 click. He's on top. And I'm like, what just happened? What just happened just now?
I'll admit to you, Internet, I never got the building in Fortnite at all.
I played for a little while, but I've never seen anyone build like they do in Europe. The European players can build. Holy cow.
I'd literally, my whole thing was to just keep moving. That's it.
That's why I love porn so much. Impossible to spoil. Oh, you guys are talking about spoilers?
Spoilers.
Yeah, he knows how every porn ends.
I do.
Okay, let's see. What kind of movies does your wife watch? We never really said Dave was married.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Does Mrs. Short like chick flicks? Okay.
Chick flicks are great. They're just great, okay?
You were for a while, right? I mean,
the marriage. Yeah, marriage is marriage. It is. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where you are.
You started young, and then.
Oh yeah. We got married when I was like 19. Man, it was so young. Okay. Well, 20. Yeah. So.
There's certain people that are like, I want this kind of person, and I don't want them ever to change. And you're like, people change.
You do change.
Everybody changes. Nobody who you met a year ago is the same person they are now. So, and if it changes...
Especially after all of these years, it's like...
But you and your daughter movie a lot together?
Yeah, I mean, well,
I mean, what does she like that you're like, I'm excited to see that too?
Oh, God. Like, all of the new Harry Potter stuff, the not the Harry Potter, but like the Fantastic Beast and the new one that just came out, The Crimes of Grindelwald and all of those,
Really?
Oh, God,
they're still making Harry Potter?
Well, they're like prequels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're...
I gotta admit, I might be the only person in the universe that has never read or seen a Harry Potter movie.
Dumbledore is a young Jude Law in these. And really? Dumbledore's the old wizard, in case you didn't know.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Just names that are bouncing off my forehead right now.
Just like throwing things at you. Like,
so, hey, no. I feel bad because it was such a pop culture thing. You know, it went from like nerds who like to read books to this amazing thing that everybody got on board with, except me.
Yeah.
I never saw Harry Potter. I never read a Harry Potter.
Well, I think, I
did see I think Fantastic Beasts. I think I saw like a clip for that and had no idea it was connected to Harry Potter, but it still looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a really cool. It's got a really cool twist in it. I think they're written more now to have these twists in them. Like at the end of it, you're just like, I freaking knew it. They're trying to do too much of the M. Night Shyamalan thing, where at the end you're like, it was this all along. You know,
is that in the movies or is that in the? Does J.K. Rowling write that in?
I don't know.
Hey, Chris, is J.K. Rowling? Is she does she always put a twist on the plot?
Well, not necessarily, but she's a very intelligent writer.
Yeah, no. I mean, these two movies that just came out that are prequels, both of them at the end, you're just like, whoa, major twist, bro. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it feels very intentional when you're looking back on it, hindsight, you know. But yeah, you can be married for 16 years and like most of the people, like, you know, in comedy and stuff don't really see your spouse or your family or anything, and they just kind of wonder what the heck you're doing, and you're just like, yeah, when I leave you guys, I've got a family. And just like you, I mean, like when I showed up and I met your wife, I was just kind of like, I mean, I knew you were married and everything, but you know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, cool, there's a person here, there's a family, there's a house, John's not homeless, this is great. I mean, I never thought you were homeless. You were always too sharp to...
Guy in a suit. Homeless guy in a suit. It happens.
That happens.
Yeah.
In Tulsa.
Sorry, I was just wondering if you're going to watch Need for Speed or the opposite of Serendipity type.
Oh, yeah. Need for Speed's a great movie, too. I like that movie. Anything Michael Keaton has ever done, I have loved.
Dave is a brony who gets glittery pedicures at conventions? What?
I mean,
I don't know what a brony is.
Does it mean jabroni? Like
no.
The Rock?
I think they mean the like the dudes that dress up like My Little Pony.
Nice burn, dude. Yeah, no. Straight up. I gotta tell you this story before we move on. Okay. One day, I'm walking around Walmart, and I noticed there's this guy who's like mouth breathing behind us, like 5 or 6 steps behind us, the entire time we're in Walmart.
Because you look good from the back.
Probably.
Hard to shut him down.
I look like a cue ball from the back, especially without the hat on. And I just keep hearing this like Darth Vader mouth snoring going on behind me, and so after a few aisles, and it's still following me, I'm like, okay, what's going down, you know? And I look kind of over my shoulder, and I notice, and I start stopping in aisles that, you know, that's the strategy. If you feel like someone's following you around the store, go to an aisle that you have no business being on, like the greeting card aisle out of nowhere. And so I was on the greeting card aisle, and he was down at the end, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? So I finally get over to where, and I've got my daughter, it's just me and my daughter, she's still young, and so I get over to where the toys are. And I'm like, honey, what is that toy down there? And I had her, like, get away from me, you know. And so she gets down the aisle and she starts looking at these toys. And I'm like, I'll be there in just a second. And I turn around and I face this dude and I just squared up on him. And I go, if you don't stop following us around Walmart, I'm going to jack you so hard, bro. Like, and he was just like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you or anything or creep you out and all this. And I'm like, well, you're definitely creeping me out. You kind of got that, like, that bug from Men in Black thing going on, you know, where he's just like, is this better? You know, like, I mean, he was like really creeping me out. And I'm like, dude, with my daughter, what the hell, you know? And he's just like, I'm just really into My Little Pony. And then I go, oh, my daughter had this My Little Pony hoodie on and stuff. And I'm like, what? Bro, I almost hit you in the face with a can of green beans.
I think I would have hit him after he said that. Oh, I'm glad, because before I was creeped out, but now that you've explained it, I hate you.
It's cool. It's all right. No problem. No, like, I was just like, beat it, and he, like, took off. And, I mean, I could never in a million years win a fight with anybody, but I felt like maybe if
We're being raided.
I could just hit somebody with a... Oh, we're being raided. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hit somebody with a can of chili or something.
I'd like to welcome everybody from Born Assassins stream. Thank you guys for coming over. Hi, UK. Tonight's guest on Friday Night Live is Dave Short.
Hi.
We've talked about comedy. We've talked about creeps at Walmart.
Yeah.
We've talked about bronies. But now we're going to talk about something, and I'm not making a slide against your physique.
Okay.
We're going to talk about food, and I think Dave might know.
I've been waiting. He said, hey, let's get on the internets and talk about foods, and my nipples got hard, so I was ready to go.
How the devil am I? I'm doing fine, thank you, sir. Yeah, that's everybody's agreed that the creep that was following you at Walmart, that's even worse. Once he explained himself.
I wish I had like a giant snow shovel like that dude at the end of Home Alone, so I could have laid him out, just like, blah!
You know, but if you want to get away, creeps are going to be in the toy department. Just like there's going to be people at Chuck E. Cheese that have table for one.
Yeah, but I didn't want to let my kid go in a department that didn't make sense. You know,
if it's a dude and you're creeped out, they have like a sewing department where they have like fabric and thread, and there's no business for that guy to be there.
Right. I mean,
there's no other place in Walmart that you could go.
It's not like I'm Jason Bourne and I had an exit strategy. I was just like,
always have an exit strategy.
It's like
always. I don't leave the house without.
There's this thing circulating around the internet where they're like, all these women talking about how this really happened to me. This guy followed me through Walmart and then followed me out to my car, and I was really scared. And this lady's response is like, go to the aisle that has Pam cooking spray and mace that sucker. Like, hit him in the face with a can of green beans. Get away. Yell for a manager. Like,
did you ever see the movie Ronin?
Do what?
Ronin? Yes. With Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
First part of the movie.
Yeah.
I never walk into a place I don't know how to get out of. That sunk in.
I guess
I was like,
it really impacted
I'm immediately.
you,
It doesn't matter what club we play. I'm like, okay, that's a door out. That's a door out. I'm not going to be the guy getting trampled. When
I'm only that strategic when I'm going to a buffet.
Oh, I'm
I'm like, there's the mashed potatoes. There's the desserts. There's
a big debate among some of our British feminine hygiene. No, creeps will go to feminine hygiene. That's a good strategy, but no. There's a big debate among some of our British viewers.
Okay.
And I don't know why this is, because I think a little bit of sweetness with a little bit of saltiness works out really well, but they are offended by pineapple on pizza.
Oh, me too.
Really?
I'm almost offended by it, but then I saw somebody was putting strawberries on pizza, and I almost...
Who?
It was something. I've seen it, and they were like, whether you're for or against pineapples on pizza, let's all band together and fight this evil.
With strawberries?
Who puts fruit on their pizza? Like, what kind of jackass?
Hawaiians? They always told me it was Hawaiian pizza.
I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, maybe.
Even though pizza was invented in Napoli, but I mean...
I can't...
or Naples.
It makes my eyes hurt to think about pineapples on pizza. It's just... I can't have something sweet with my pizza. I can't.
Are you a morning eater?
A morning eater?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Do you like? I mean, do you start the day? Do you like the full? I want eggs. I want bacon. I want pancakes.
See, what happens is I wake up and I reach over and I just grab the donuts that I have waiting for me right here. No, I'm kidding. That's not what happens.
I sleep next to a bag of donuts. So
every single morning I drive way the hell out of my way to go to the same Chick-fil-A every single morning. I sit in the same booth at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A
and
has
I
breakfast?
eat the same. Yeah, man.
Chicken and eggs?
No.
I was about to say you're eating an adult chicken with its undeveloped offspring.
No, I don't do that. No, that's just twisted. No, I have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Oh. And that's why I look like a biscuit, because you are what you eat. And I eat that pretty much every weekday, except for the weekends when I'm on the road doing stuff. And obviously there's not a Chick-fil-A open on Sunday, so I have to come up with a different strategy
come on,
there.
Don't whine about it. Get up here.
There's a dog down here right now.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Lord.
now we got a whiner.
Come on.
Perfect.
Everybody. Oliver, everybody.
Everybody.
Do you so Chick-fil-A, that's your thing. You don't really
yeah.
Do you do the Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn? where they put about 14,000 calories on your plate and go,
have
fun, go work out.
There's a place by my house called BBD. It's a brunch by day. The Deuce, the second location.
Okay.
It's out in South Tulsa by where I live, and
right.
I'll go in there for brunch because sometimes, because I own my own business and I own my own, I do comedy, and sometimes I don't get up in time for the 10:30 shut off for breakfast. I'll pop in there, and they've got the best pecan waffle. It's just a huge Belgian waffle they put pecans in, and with that warm syrup, it's just it's perfect. It's so good.
See, I like Waffle House because I like people yelling to the kitchen from my table. I love that. That's one of my favorite things ever.
I have never been in a Waffle House and didn't think that I was going to get an entire can of OC spray emptied on my face. I'm pretty sure you put OC spray in my eggs. Because, the moment you take a bite, you're just like... Seriously.
I miss the days when you could actually smoke in a restaurant. Because the lady yelling in Waffle House would actually have it dangling off her lip with, the 3-inch ash.
Every time I hear you talk about that.
And I can't... I just wanted to fall. I just wanted to fall.
It's come on! Do you ever do, the Wayne's World, pickle race where you're kind of over-under on how long it takes for it to fall?
No, but we used to go to the Williams Center Forum downtown when there was an ice rink downtown.
Yeah.
And make nickel and quarter bets on how long it would take the fat kid to fall. That kid's not going to make it 3 more laps. Watch him. Yes! Pay up!
Oh, man. That's awesome. No, I try to stay away from those places. IHOP, every time they get you with these commercials with, now we got Star-Spangled Pancakes, or we're putting cranberries in the French toast now, and all this crap, and you get in there and it's just not good. And I also have PTSD from an IHOP situation. I had a really...
Would you like to tell us?
Sure, Internet. Let me tell you about the time.
Let me tell you about the time IHOP made me start drinking.
Almost. IHOP's got this... I don't know if all the IHOPs in the world are like this or not, but they've got this half booth, half chair scenario going on one end of the restaurant.
Oh, right, booths on the back and
booths
chairs on the
back.
front.
Right, yeah. So I'm in the booth by myself. This is Black Friday, by the way. I think it was. So I'm in the booth, and my back is against the wall, looking at the rest of the whole restaurant. Okay, and I'm eating my food, and this father and this son come in, and they're in the tables in front of me. And he is just screaming and cussing his kid up one side, down the other, and just slamming his hand on the table and being really loud and really just berating this kid. And I'm trying my best to just keep my head down and eat my eggs and get the heck out of there. And the next thing I know, this kid is flying through the air. He has reached over this table and threw his son across this IHOP. And I'm not talking Incredible Hulk, yank and throw across, but just, into the table behind them. It's really just us. This is it. There's not a whole crowd or anything. Throws him into this table, and my immediate response was to get up and run to this kid and see what the heck's happened. And so I run and I lean over the top of this kid, and I'm like, buddy, are you okay, man? Are you all right? And the next thing I know, I turn around and this guy's in the process of swinging on me. And I could not win a fight to save my life.
So in other words, they didn't comp your meal and you've never been back to IHOP.
He just comes, I'm just kind of looking back to see where he's at. And as soon as I'm coming around, I see him back like this with his fist. And my whole response is just throw my hand up. Almost like the kid in Sandlot, just put your glove up, I'll put the ball there.
Right.
And I just said boom, and his face landed right into my hand and just hit him hard. And the next thing I know, the rest of the IHOP staff tackles this guy and all this crap. So I've never been back to an IHOP ever again.
Because that's what always happens at IHOP.
I didn't know that IHOP was basically a reenactment of the movie Taken every time.
I hate the people that feel the need to fight in public, and then one of them wants some validation from you.
Right.
Am I right, buddy? And you're like, I'm not getting in the middle of your domestic.
No. No, and I don't. I'm really big on being a father, and when I saw this kid being berated, it was just like. It was like everything in me not to get up. Like, in my mind, I was having those, like, grandiose, like, Bruce Willis in Red type situations where I'm like, where is the old crazy guy with my rocket launcher? I'm ready to screw this guy up. And it never came, and then next thing I know, this kid's on the floor, and I'm...
Are you kind of adventurous with food? Like
no,
Thai, Indian?
No.
Diner Blue Plate?
Basically, what it comes
Chicken
down
fried
to
steak,
is
buddy.
if it's white... I'll eat it because I'm. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love gravy. Gravy is my jam.
By itself.
I drink gravy right out of a gallon jug. No, I'm just into those Southern comfort foods.
Does
you know?
your daughter
Just-
ever try to get you to try stuff? Is she adventurous?
Oh yeah, her and her mom are always eating Chinese food, and I can't even take the smell. It just, I like the moment I even smell it, I just get that. Like Liam Neeson in Next of Kin feeling where I just want to like
So you really
around.
would like if
I
Paula
just-
Deen was your neighbor.
oh, if Paula
That's your jam right there.
like Paula Deen.
Ham and fruit cobbler. Just like
Listen here, y'all. Like, oh, Paula Deen is my jam. Like,
Brother
seriously.
Hooligans is Dave's jam.
Brother Hooligans is my jam. I'm not even
can't do
kidding.
it.
What?
Okay, here's the thing. I love their chicken fried steak.
Oh, bro.
I love their chicken fried steak with the gravy and the green beans.
You're hurting my
I
feelings right
love
now.
their catfish. But please do not put the fish in the same fryer that you cook the chicken frieds in because they
Sure.
always turn out tasting like fish.
That's
if I'm
true.
in the mood for fish, I'll order the fish.
That is true. That
and they
has
do
happened.
it every time. It's
That
right
has
over here.
happened.
I've eaten there a lot. I eat
That
there
has
for like
happened.
3 years in a row.
Well,
and
there's
after a while, I'm
there's
like,
two locations, bro. Like,
Yeah,
to,
they
to
moved
be
out
fair,
south, but the
one
original-
that's over here, the original on 15th, is a little bit more susceptible to that. The
oh, it's
one,
awful.
the one south is
Because I like both.
Oh,
I like their catfish
man.
and I like their chicken fries. But when I
Not
eat a chicken
together.
fried, I don't
together.
want to taste fish.
no.
Oh.
That's not a good thing at all. Yeah, Brother Hooligan.
What'd you do for the
Jesus
Thanksgiving? Was it typical spread, turkey, dressing?
We deep fried a turkey,
Did you?
and
How's that work out?
well,
Is it crispy?
my sister's Gary. I call her. I just call her my sister's Gary because they've been together for years and years and years and haven't gotten married. And I don't know how to refer to him. But anyways, my sister's Gary. He got a deep fryer, and we took it out to the driveway, way away from everything, and
Yeah, right.
and
Way too many YouTube videos
and we put
on the,
we
the
put
accident.
the hook on this big ass like metal fence post and slowly lowered it like the Ark of the Covenant into this oil and prayed to God that it wasn't going to cause a napalm bomb.
Dude, that is
And,
the best watching on YouTube, though, watching people.
Have you ever seen those ones from the fire department though, where it looks
Yes.
like they're like slammed up, like you were expecting the NBA Jam voice to come on and be like, boom shakalaka, like yeah,
He's
of
on
course.
fire!
Of course he's on fire. You just slam dunked a frozen turkey into boiling oil. Like no one does that. No one does
I'm
that.
scared to death, even if I read the instructions. It just looks so... I've seen too many videos to try
Yeah,
it.
no.
I was like,
we
I've
were very scared.
I've got an
but
oven and a roasting pan. Guess what we're doing?
that particular bird was so freaking good, though. And I'm not a big turkey person. I like to have ham because ham just keeps all of its juiciness, and turkey rarely does. But this turkey was super, super moist, man. And I know that's not a fun word to say on the internet these days. Moist.
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 I love moist.
But,
Moist. You can only say moist if you follow it up with the word panties.
oh.
Moist panties.
Well, this
and that makes it
turkey
okay, I think.
had some very moist panties.
You eat ham? Cannibal.
I do eat ham. Sons of bitches. Come on.
This is also the same person that said Waffle House bathrooms were the best place to do coke. So you take it with a grain of
right.
salt.
All right, cool. Cool.
Covan, I haven't seen you in forever, man. Thank you for joining
So it
tonight.
wasn't Dr. Phil giving that advice?
I don't think Dr. Phil watches this channel. I think I could almost be certain
bet.
Dr. Phil doesn't watch this channel.
Dr. Phil doesn't watch this channel from his
But
Ferrari.
if I was going to name drop, that would be a good one. You know who doesn't watch this channel? Dr.
Dr.
Phil.
Phil.
I'm going to do
Hey.
some name dropping of the people who don't watch. You know Bruce Willis? He doesn't watch me
He
either.
doesn't watch this. No, no.
Will Smith has never seen me.
That's sad.
Plug.
Plug?
I know
Okay.
you have shows. I know your company has shows.
Sure.
And I know you are the owner of Dream Clinic
Yes.
Graphics.
Dream Clinic, yeah.
So-
yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Any
Yeah.
of that you want to
So-
like for the next minutes or so, however many minutes
I
you
don't
just
know.
want to talk about
Um,
things that you're into that
As
are-
far as comedy's going these days, I'm a little bit on more. I've really reached this point where I'm very comfortable with what's going on with my comedy, and not just what I'm delivering on stage, but just I've always been a business person and entrepreneur. I've
so
always
as far
wanted,
as a product you're
I've always wanted my comedy and my I wanted comedy to make money.
right.
And I realized pretty early on that even though I'm a fan of comedy, even though I write comedy, even though I feel like I'm an okay comic, I'm not going to be Bill Burr selling out Madison Square Garden or the Boston Garden or anything like that.
So you don't have dreams of performing big venues.
I don't.
You just like
but what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to make a consistent amount of money with it and kind of have a feeling that I knew what was coming ahead, you know. So I've always wanted that opportunity and it never really came, and then here recently it's kind of reluctantly fallen into my lap, and I've just embraced the opportunity. At first I was really just kind of scared about taking on the opportunity and all of the different things that happen when you take on a new place, because everybody's loyal to the old person or loyal to the new person or has something to say about it or whatever. And so for me to have a place where I can do comedy regularly, where I know I'm making money, and then where I get to meet the people that I've always wanted to meet in comedy, and being able to pick up the phone and call people that I've always, just.
so you're at that point where you have a product that you're proud of right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And because like where I'm promoting the comedy, where I'm producing the show, it's like they've been so supportive. They're just like green lighting everybody I've booked. Like they're just so excited. They're like they're like, hey, if you can get a big name in here, we'll go find the money for them to be here. And I know it's not a very big room, so there's some people that it just doesn't fit.
It's a big enough room to have Jimmy Walker in there. I mean,
there's
JJ's been there
There's
on New Year's Eve shows.
Yeah. There's 100 people that can fit in there if we take all the actual tables out and just set rows of chairs
Right.
in. We had Adam Hunter recently, and he's one of those guys that I've been following on YouTube and following on social media for over a year or two, and I'm a big UFC fan as well, like the MMA stuff, and he's connected to that as well. Just all of these names that I'm able to start booking at this room, it's just really exciting for me. I don't have the accolades, like I don't have like the ambition to go out there and be that name. I'm just a fan of comedy.
So for the
You know
people
what I
that
mean?
don't know,
Yeah.
I mean how the process works.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a single agency that you talk to that all these people are represented by,
It's weird because no.
or are you having to make contacts with a bunch of different agencies? Or
Nobody knows. There's always this inside baseball going on. This
oh well, you don't have to.
Well, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like
Nobody watches this program.
when you.
Hi, nobody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
No. It's weird because when I first got started booking the room, I was like, okay, so is there like a agency that I need to call to get these people? And so I got advice from a person who runs a very successful room and has had Todd Glass do a Netflix special there and everything. And he goes, what's your budget? And I tell him the budget, and he goes, pretty much anybody except for huge, big theater comics are going to come for that amount. So just pick up the phone and call them. And I'm like, well, how do I call them? And he goes, social media. Just Facebook message them. And
so
they're
you're talking
say,
directly to the comedians, not the representatives.
Most of the time, I'm talking to a comedian who then, if they have an agent, they refer me to their agent.
Okay.
Through social media, like I'll just slide in the DMs and I'll just say, hey, I was just wanting to get your booking information because I book a room and I'm interested. And some people have an agent, some people don't, and the agents are always people who have agents seem to be a little harder to work with just because they.
I think the agent probably is very protective of
their,
their client.
They are.
They're like, well, like the person themselves would be like, yeah, I'll do it, and then their agent would be like, can we get some information about your room first?
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, really, the room is not hard to get information out about, or even to attract the names that we're attracting. It's been, it's just been. I've noticed there, as I'm producing these shows, I've noticed there's like a range of about $400 or $500 that everybody fits in, right? And so I always go right in the middle of that range, and I can go higher. Or if I'm over what they are, then that's great for them, right? They're usually the more happier people to be there. So I kind of get right in that middle, and if it seems like every single time someone has an agent, they are like $100 or $200 over that range. Whereas if I'm talking directly to the comedian and I say, hey, they're like, are you serious? Mm-hmm. Where's Miami? Like, people are like, where's Miami? And then I'll say, well, and then I'll tell them about the room, and then I'll say, hey, we've had this person, and they'll be like, hey, I know them. Let me go talk to them real quick and see if this checks out. And it always does. They've always had great times. Adam's been really good at getting, being a reference and having people come to us.
Who's the guy coming? Is it
we've got some
this weekend or next weekend? Is it Peter Barrera?
We got Peter Barrera from ABC's Daybreak coming.
Is that this weekend?
That's on the 7th and 8th.
Plug your stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay. So December 7th and 8th, we've got Peter Barrera coming. And he is going to be, Michael C. Hall is going to be featuring for him. What we try to do with our features is get people who've supported that room for a long time and have been around and are kind of local within the region. So Michael C. Hall is from Oklahoma City, but he's got his start in Hawaii. He's really good. Then we got Tim Northern on the 14th and 15th.
Heard of him. And
Tim Northern's amazing. My very first time to ever feature was for him, and you get to feature for him.
My first time featuring will be for Tim Northern.
There you go. High five. It's good times. Then in January we've got James Johan, who is he toured with the Blue Collar Comedy guys.
All right.
February we've got Hannah Hogan, who is Dusty Slay's wife, and they've been tearing it up. They are everywhere you turn. If you're an insider in comedy, they've been everywhere you look. Those two people have been everywhere. So I'm very, very grateful that, no one said no, dude. Like, that's the thing. Like, I always thought I would have to get, like, anytime you sell something, like, I'm going to get 10 no's for every one yes, right? Everybody has said yes. It's been fantastic.
Are you are you focusing a lot of energy on that, or is it mostly Dream Clinic?
Dream Clinic is doing. Or
does it kind of run itself because of?
No, I wish Dream Clinic ran itself. That would be great, but no. Dream Clinic is the past few years. Dream Clinic's my graphic design studio agency / thing that 3 or 4 of us started 3 years ago, and we've done a lot of really cool things for a lot of people, but it seems like in 2018, 2017, 2018, it was a lot of like one-off projects, like someone would call in wanting to do a logo or wanting to do a website or whatever, and that's all they needed. And so we were hitting like 100 to 150 clients a year. which is kind of a lot for an agency that's only our size. Usually agencies that have that many clients have a full, huge staff, and the later part of 2018 here and going into 2019, we've changed our philosophy, and we're trying to find clients that kind of need more.
So instead of having a lot of clients that you do like one service for, you're trying to find like a client that you can handle all their needs and take care of them primarily.
Yeah, we're trying to get down to the 20-30 range where we have 20 or 30 clients who consider us their consultants for marketing, for graphics, for social media, for all of that.
You do that work for charitable organizations? Or no. How did you get like... the MLK.
Yeah, so I did the Martin Luther King Day parade, the 50th anniversary. I did their poster.
You know Martin Luther King was rolling over his grave, seeing an albino.
Oh yeah, I'm the whitest person alive. No,
doing all his graphic design.
Part of me, I always had that on the forefront of my mind, to be honest with you. Every time I met with somebody, every time I spoke about it, I was very, very... humbled, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a big
deal, but like it. Most people don't know what to do when they see this much white headed their way. You know what I mean? Like it's just an obvious thing. And I remember when I walked in to meet these people that gave me the job for MLK. They looked me in the face just like
you looked at the creep at Walmart. Probably.
Yeah. No.
Hit him in the face with a can of beans.
This is going okay. Yeah, no, basically. No. You know the movie Remember the Titans?
Heard of it.
You remember when Julius first walks into Bertier's house and meets Bertier's mom?
Yeah.
And she kind of just like...
Right.
With a hand out. That's how they were looking at me.
Of course.
They were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm a new graphic designer. They were like, fire the guy who hired this guy, but they...
And then fire the guy that hired him.
Yeah, no, really. Like, put that guy out of here. No. And so I knew the weight of that. I got on the computer dead last on it. I usually go to the computer first and fool around with things in the computer, but with this, I knew it was such a big deal that I did something very, very custom. So I drew like hand-drawn Martin Luther King from a photograph and then pieced it together and then had them approve that for a t-shirt design. And then...
Did they recognize the amount of respect you gave the treatment of the project enough to come back? For next year?
Yeah. We're doing that whole thing. The thing with the Martin Luther King thing is you get the official job, right? But you don't get the job of all these other corporations who are participating in the parade. So, like, we made shirts for all of the official staff and the official people at the city and the official people. We got featured by the national group.
How many different cities do they have a parade in every year? I mean, we're only like, as far as I don't know what our numbers are. I know our radio market, we're like 56th biggest market in the United States.
There's a lot. Plus, with this being the 50th year, and with the push they were making to make where he was assassinated a national historical site
in Memphis.
Yeah, so
a hotel in Memphis is on the historical register now.
They've
okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Actual Donald Trump thing. So
I didn't know anybody was pushing for that.
Well, actually, yeah, they were, and so it's funny, but with all of that attention and all that PR that they were doing, it was just nuts to be a part of it, and then to have them say, "We love this so much that we're going to feature it in the actual, museum that they have and everything." And it was on the website for a while and everything. And to me, that's just, I can do this job for money all the time, and that's what pays the bills, and that's what sometimes validates doing it. But
at that job you did for the love.
Yeah, no, and I didn't get paid anything for that. Like I literally, every time somebody would even try to slip me gas money to go deliver huge pallets of posters, I'm just like, I'm not going to take this 80-year-old woman's money who probably had to do, like in that, the Hidden Figures movie where they had to like run a half mile to use the bathroom. Like
you get to see a lot of movies. Like, you have referenced movies over and over, and I'm like, I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one either. This
lady, okay, listen, this lady that I'm looking in the face is 80 years old. Okay, she
got to meet him probably at one time.
Maybe, but I know that she lived through some crap, right? Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's over here trying to give me money for this poster, and I'm like, listen, that ain't gonna happen. Like, okay, like
put a little extra in the plate this Sunday, all right, sister?
Yeah, like for me, it's I do use it to promote my company, and they want me to do that, but I don't spend I did not get a dime off of that, and I didn't want it.
Do you see? Is that your calling? Is that what you see yourself doing in like 5-10 years? I mean, same thing, but with a bigger agency, or
so. Yeah, I mean,
do you see yourself in a growth industry?
I like the side. Yeah, no, for sure, I do. I like the ways that I got into graphic design. What made me really passionate about it was the fact that these are all these. The reason why I call my company Dream Clinic even is these are all these people who sat around a house, were woken up in the middle of the night, started drawing on a legal pad, or started writing down things that they were inspired. They were inspired by God, the universe, chakras, Mercury retrograde, whatever it is. Whatever it is that inspires people, they get inspired to do something. Like the very first client I ever had, this lady wanted to convert her garage into a bakery. And she came to me, and I didn't know jack or shit about graphic design at that time, but I still took her on, and I worked her through it, and, everything. And just having somebody sit across the table and it literally burst into tears because what you designed for them is what's been in their head for months, if not years.
Oh, right.
Is such a huge thing. That's the drive for Dream Clinic. I want to turn Dream Clinic into something where I can teach that skill to kids that are either just about to leave high school or are in that like apprentice internshipy. Do
you have formal education in what you do?
Yeah, I've got 3 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, one in digital media, one in web design, and I've got one in graphic design.
Why don't you just, throw a little weight around? No offense. Why don't you throw a little weight around and go up to Webster and be like, I graduated from here. This is where I'm at right now. And if there's any kids that are interested in this as a line of work, I would love to work with them.
So what I really want to do, and I don't really talk about this too much, but what I want to do...
It's just me and you.
It's just me and you.
Don't even worry about the camera.
7 people that are looking at this right now. My big goal would be to teach this to that age group and give them real projects that I have salespeople or I myself go out and get set up and give these kids an opportunity to make $20, $30 an hour right while they're in high school, and do it in that lower income place like Webster's in West Tulsa where I graduated. Their dropout rate until recently, because they've got another nonprofit in there that's really helping them. But recently it was so bad that they were going to shut the school down. Like they were talking about, like I want to say like 6 out of every 20 kids or whatever.
The school has to be there in another,
Sure. Yeah.
It has to be there in another 12 years because all the dropouts, babies will be born by then, and they'll have to have a school to go to.
You're not wrong. But I used to go when
we're just going to shut it down until all these babies are born. Then we're gonna open the doors again.
We're only going to open this every 6 years. No, but they.
No offense, Webster.
You're horrible. You're horrible. No, I think okay. So when I did the Nitro thing, I talked to you about that earlier. Yeah. Okay, when I did the Nitro thing, I would go to the school and I would look at these kids who wanted to be in school. Not many of these kids are like punk kids who just don't care about school. They want to be in school. They know they need to be. But they got the pressure of being in a low-income area and mom and dad not being able to afford. Most of these are single moms at home raising their kids, and then their kids are now becoming single moms. And
other Webster graduates.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough, but like, can you imagine having, coming of age? You're 16, you're 17, you're not graduated yet, but you can go make some money for your family, and
right.
That pressure is, you need to be putting more hours in at work instead of caring too much about high school.
I've been working since I was 7.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I've been working since I was
8 years old. I
remember I woke up at 16, and my grandpa came into the room before we had even eaten a bowl of cereal, and he goes, "Hop in the truck," and I'm like, "All right, where are we going?" "You're going to work." I was
weekends,
like,
after
wait,
school,
what?
Summers. I wasn't hanging out with friends. I had a job.
But even though I had a job, I still went to school. I still graduated. I still love where I went to school and graduated. But these kids are leaving school, so
do you have a heart towards that community?
I do. Did
you live around the 41st and Union area? Did you live around Reed?
I actually grew up when I was younger in Oakhurst.
Okay.
Which is like real West, Tulsa, low income.
Well,
all of that, yeah.
My wife's family, Red Fork and Carbondale.
I went to Red Fork.
And then,
my brother was
she
a
went
deacon.
To Berry Hill.
My brother was a deacon at Red Fork Baptist.
Okay.
And I went to Red Fork Church of God when I was in school, and as I was growing up. And
for all you people that just think Tulsa's like this big city, nah.
It's really not.
It's a collection of small communities.
It's a small...
And the West Side communities, I think, are still more...
They're more together.
Like in Tulsa, there used to be an area called Mingo. There was an area called Alsuma. Those areas are gone, but you can still go to West Tulsa, and there's still Oakhurst, Red Fork, and Carbondale.
Red Fork, Carbondale, Berry Hill. All of those things are there. It's almost like the Arkansas River chiseled that part of town and said, "Here, hug each other.
You know what's
we
bad?
don't care about you."
The funny thing is, the "Welcome to Tulsa" sign is actually on the east side of the Arkansas River. Like, you got to cross over I-44 and get over the river. So all West Tulsa's like, "Hey, we're Tulsa too."
You got to go through. You got to drive.
You got to get past Pepsi.
10 miles into Tulsa.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before you get the "Welcome to Tulsa" sign.
Westies aren't happy about it. We never liked going to Webster. We hated Webster coming to our school because it was a thing. High school football, you would go to someone else's school. You would sit in the visitor stands, and their people would come over and harass you.
Sure.
You know, you'd go to Webster. The Webster kids would harass anybody in the visitor stand and start fights.
Of course.
But then, when the home game happened and Webster came to your school, they would still start fights at your school. Like, Webster kids were rough.
I've been in so many fights, dude. Like, I will never, ever even be able to write down a list of all the fights I've been in.
Unless your daughter's watching, then never fought once.
I was never in a fight. Never.
Ever.
Except for that time I saved that boy in IHOP with that huge haymaker where he, like, landed on my fist. Like, I didn't even swing at him. I just remember going, "Is this where I put my fist?" Like,
hey, run into this with your face. Real quick.
Yeah.
Your fault.
No.
Your fault.
No.
You ran into my fizz.
Hey, I didn't even swing it, bro. I didn't even swing it. This is how I just Trump hands.
Trump hands.
Listen, that's just the way it is.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
David's our last guest from Series 1. We are taking December off. Not the stream, but Friday Night Live is taking a month off. We'll be back in January. Our first guest will be comedian Ryan Green. And we'll be under we're rebranding the show. It's going to be called Public Access Live. So thank you guys for being part of the last of Series 1. We will see you in January 2019. Love your face. We're out.